Hi there, and welcome to today's vlog. Now, the question I have for you today is this: are you a no because type of person, or are you a yes if type of person? That question comes from a book that I read a little while ago by Dan Walker, who's well known for presenting Football Focus Breakfast on TV, currently working on the Olympics in the early morning session. Hope you're enjoying the Olympics. It's quite exciting. Anyway, he wrote a book called Remarkable People, in which he has a chapter devoted to certain people that he's met over the years, some well-known people, some not well-known at all. In one chapter, he talks about a trip that he made with two former footballers, John Hartson and Kevin Kilbane, to Camp Bastion. Remember when the British Army were in Iraq, and he talks about the experience of a trip that he and those two made to Camp Bastion to really, as part of the Football Focus programme, to record some interviews and experiences, etc. And he talks in that chapter of some of the folk that he met. And one of them was a chap called Matt, who'd formerly been serving in the Navy, but now had left the Navy and works as a Defence Business Development Director. Anyway, he was there at the time, and he says something very significant about his time in the service in the Navy. He says, when I first started working as a civilian, I noticed that so many people, when faced with issues or problems, would respond with no because. In other words, we can't do that because, and they come up with all sorts of reasons. I found that in church life as a minister, that sometimes an idea, a vision would come up, and people come up with all sorts of reasons why we can't do that. We can't do that because we've tried it before, we can't afford it, or all sorts of reasons. So there are some people who seem to be no because sort of people. Whereas Matt, who says he's come up with that often in civilian life, but then he says the Navy taught me that yes if is a far more productive way of thinking. It takes time to change a mindset, but once you get to yes if rather than no because, it is so liberating. So are you a no because type of person or a yes if type of person? I was as I was thinking about that, I was reminded of a story or a part of the book of, in the Old Testament, the book of Numbers, where the people of Israel have escaped from Egypt, from slavery under the leadership of Moses. And Moses, as the people approach the promised land, the land God has promised them, Moses sends out some people to spy out the land. And some of them came back, or when they came back to report what's happened, some of them said, well, it's a lovely land, there's great fruit and all that, but the people are so large, the cities are fortified, we can't go in there. We can't do that. 10 out of the 12 came back with a negative report. We can't do that because the people are large and strong. The cities are fortified. We can't do that. But two of those who went in, Caleb and Joshua, said, we should go up and take possession of it, for we can certainly do it. They said, so 10 says we can't because, and they gave all sorts of reasons. Caleb and Joshua said, we can because God is with us. God has promised us this land. Sadly, the 10 outvoted the 2, and so the people were left with a further 40 years of wilderness wandering before they eventually got to the promised land. And only Caleb and Joshua, the two had come back with a positive, we can do it because if we trust in the Lord report, they were the only two who actually got into the promised land of those who'd spied out the land. So let's come back to that question. Are you a no because type of person, or are you a yes if type of person? Yes, if we trust in God. Yes, if God has called us to this. Let's pray that we might trust in God. Let me finish with, I saw in a shop yesterday a notebook, and it had on it a quote from Helen Keller. Remember, she was blind and deaf, but she said, well, she communicated, I don't know how she did, but she said life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. Let's make our lives a daring adventure when we look and say, yes, if we trust in God. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening today.